Hi everyone, my name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the President of the United States, and I believe the design in which we have the ability to do is being withheld, and I believe we have a document called the Declaration of Independence would make every child have a safe tomorrow by law. And I'd like to show you some of those of you who like video. So this is the board behind me, and this is some of the stuff in my personal life. And some of the stuff that people may call political, but let's just go over some of this real briefly, for those who like video, of course. So, in short, this is me having a hand in opening a theater. This is the same thing. This is some of the floats that I've done as a music director for the theater, Staten Island Paramount Theater. And these are some of all these people I have collaborated, and I have reached out. A lot of these people were volunteers, and I just think it's so beautiful that all the music we've made and how all of these people, that we all still friends, that's what music does. As a musician, I could see we need a good foundation for life and the harmony in which we have. Let's continue. So, this right here is when I had gas poisoning and I had to reframe my backyard, and I redesigned it. I put the sculpting here, and you can't see it, but all of this tilts down and it drips the water into a drain. These are several of my friends. That's me in the background there. We're having a good time. This is me on one of the floats that you can see in the background. It was snow, and there was so much snow on my cymbal. It was so funny because I had to take that cymbal and crash it before I needed to make a sound with it. And it's so funny because it was heavy, heavy, heavy snow. We didn't stop the show, just like I will not stop it for our beautiful America and all of you beautiful people. I put my niece in this category, and looking out for her, I want to assure that design is correct. The Declaration of Independence is the key. Let's look at some more things. This is the reupholstering job. This is one of my friends, God rest his soul. A very beautiful person. And this is upholstery. I've done all this upholstery. I didn't do this part, but I did all of this. And this is a custom bench seat. And this is one of the vacations I went on. And that's one of my other friends. He's a good guy, great guy, in fact. And this is more of the upholstery with a custom seat on the other side. This is the custom seat that you see on the other side right here. And this is also part of it. And this is one of my family members, beautiful person. So you really can't see it very, very, very well, but it is part of the design. And so, what is design? Because designing, whether it's a theater in which I had the drafter sit in my office for 6 months and we drafted 40,000 square foot. That was my doing and my idea. This is what we need to do is redraft. And basically these all have designs. Even the musicians have the ability to have where we aligned it, what kind of songs. I would always let it be contoured to what they'd want to do. It worked out very comfortably when they're happy. I like people to be happy. And so what we can see is, and this right here, by the way, let me get a close-up of that. This is when I was about 20 years old. I wanted to learn how to paint a car. And by the way, I have 14 licenses and 5 EPA certifications, and I can build you an antenna out of your pen. I have a certification in hypnotherapy as well, learning the framing of our mental abilities. No disrespect to anyone, but with no words. And you evaluate by the actions we see today and the end results and the results presently. We are a disheveled civilization, and America has the liability of this. When do we change that? I want to. The Declaration to match the Constitution had already warranted all of this. Let's continue. So, what is design? This is part of a design. This is one of my levels that's probably 20-something years old, probably more than that. And I still have this, by the way. And this goes to show you when I made one of my first business cards, and this was one of the plumbing companies. And when I designed this person, I had someone from a church that I was going to, and She designed it and she made the gentleman a black color. I never noticed it, and it didn't bother me. I don't look at color. I see who you are in your heart. And when I see big business has no heart, it shows me a lack of that part of the design. No disrespect to anybody. So let's continue. This is one of my service terms, and I just want to say I love my service people. Everyone, especially people in the Staten Island Task Force, one of my family members was part of, one of the first responders at 9/11. They were told they could breathe air that was toxic. How dare the person did that? I'd like to talk to her about that in person, because that's not going to ever be forgotten that more people died after that. I wonder how she really feels. Anyway, let's continue. So, this is part of now, I would like it to be seen, and this is specifically my design. And I would just like to pause for a second. I'm so proud that I'm able to do this. God gave me these gifts. That's why I want to give them to you. I'm willing to give up my life to do these things. I love us, and I see the design how to do this because it is about collaboration. And so this is a plan, it's a blueprint to install what's called an RPZ, Reduced Pressure Zone Valve, as one of my 14 licenses, and it allows me to pull a permit for this work and have New York City controlled inspections. So we are called skilled trades as a professionality, and my license has the word master in it. I think it's kind of cool. So legally and professionally, I am a master of several degrees. I don't say that with a big head. I don't. I want to see a safe earth and a safe people. So these are the devices. Let's see. So this seems to be right here, part of the first floor plan. And this is pretty much what happens when you have a blueprint. So, and this is the actual elevation plan and part of the mechanical room. And so, this was my design, every bit of it. No one helped me with this except I had a drafter that I had draft this plan because I don't want to be bothered with CAD. So, I think this is kind of the point of what we see as framing and design. This is what America is missing, is the actual framing and design. So what do we see down here by the framing of design? And Benjamin Franklin made this. I'm not showing this to people to be scared, but with our earth, of our ice melting, and those people who want to doubt it, the only thing I can say is I can say this. Time to stop was politically right, no more. Earth is calling. Earth is calling. And the most important thing is time to join .us. And I do believe very well in succession that climate change is reversible only if we collaborate together by design. Right now we're so disheveled and we don't have anyone telling us we are beautiful. Every one of you is beautiful. I don't care if you're thin, heavy, beautiful, black, white, green, brown. I don't care. Color is not relevant. I don't care if you're gay, bi, trans, queer. I respect every one of you. In fact, I want to hug everyone right now, and I want you to feel that. So that's how I love us. And this is what we need, is someone at the top showing respect and kindness within collaborations and an affirmity to do so. As well as I have respect and I want it to be fun, I'm not playing games. You need to see that side of me too. So let's continue. So when this is done in all of this plan, these are the things that are also collaborating with it. Where we go. These are also the things that collaborated with it. Of course, using rulers, breaking cement, putting drain lines in. This is not the same job as this. This is PVC, which is residential. This is not allowed in New York City any longer underground in commercial. And this happens to be part of where I'm doing underground work, and of course on the very pipe we're using a level to do so. So in short, these are all the pictures of the design of the things I've encountered. And this right here is a diagram of artwork from Benjamin Franklin. And it says, join or die. That's when the 13 colonies would delegating what they should do, and he was trying to establish rapport. I think he did it well. He took both sides, he collaborated, and because he did that, they agreed. That's what the Declaration of Independence Party is doing. It's taking both the Democrats and Republicans, and it's allowing them to have the chance to show that they can handle collaborating in a time of crisis. This is what we need now more than ever, and I'd like to leave this for us. So, this is also part of our design, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, but I'd like to also point out, this is an article that Stapleton says, take charge of our schools, where people might want to say that that was political. I disagree. I'm a caring human being. I refuse to be called political. I think that mentality is going to change our whole entire system. And do you know why that's correct and why I feel that this is the right thing across the board? Because the Declaration of Independence supports that. It says very simply, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people, that's all of us, to dissolve the political bands which have connected them and to assume among the powers of the earth by design. I need to include the large companies to do this, so they're happy. I want them to be happy. They need to be happy because then they're not going to fight us. We're not going to have lawsuits that go on forever. Well, I feel our ice is melting and my niece may not have anything safe on tomorrow. Let's be practical of those. Some people don't agree with it, but I want minimum maintenance. There's no reason why the strongest country in the whole entire globe wouldn't have minimum maintenance. So for those who believe it, those who don't, it's a Benjamin Franklin move. It's a wise thing, I think, and it has strong heart. It affirms a 50, 100 years safer tomorrow. I feel so confident for that, and I see the design of it. So this is when we had a circumstance, this is very unique, that one of my pizza delivery friends was ripped off in Stapleton by one of the rentals, and they were on school property making a delivery. 12 and 13-year-old children ripped him off at knife point. 12 and 13 years old with a knife? I mean, this is ridiculous. So part of being an establishment which we created to do things for the town, and people would call it political, and I'm not going to go there because we just cared when we created establishment, was Staten Island Watch Council. And we basically, we cared about things. We did cleanups and, people who were hurt, we went and tried to establish a rapport with them to let them know they were cared for. In short, at that point, one of my partners wanted to do something when he heard something right away, and we called up the principal. And then at that point, my partner wanted to do a press conference, and I figured this is only an isolated incident. You can't just scream wolf right away. Within 2 weeks, a Muslim girl had her religious attire ripped off of her head. That's when I said, that's it. Do the press conference. That was my call. I felt it was wise. And we did. What did we find out? Upon doing this press conference, so what we ended up accomplishing was ultimately we had the teachers come forward after the newspapers in New York One, and several people did stories on this, that we found out that desks and chairs were being thrown inside the classroom. The teachers were being distracted as their purses were being ripped off. Their cars were being keyed. I love our teachers. I am definitely an instructor to a certain degree. I have taught hundreds of people many different skills. And my attitude, my feeling is anything I could do, any one of you could do, because we are beautiful. And I've proven that by all the people I've shown things to. I know we are beautiful. And so we got the school closed down. I wanted to pause with that to let your mind imagine for a second, but the doors never closed. What they did was they shut it down on paper, and they opened it with two principals. It's beautiful. The doors never closed, and two principals came to open it, and now there was a security. I'm not going to say the rest of that story and whatever happened to the principal who was letting that stuff when she was told about this and what she did and how she acted. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to drama. This is not about drama. This is about saying what we can do in a forward positive motion by design. So, in short, what do we have as design for us now? We have this. And this is the Declaration of Independence. And this is the original one, by the way. Look at how many cross-outs there were. It's very, 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 very interesting. So the Declaration, what I see, is our missing design. No politicians speak of this. No one, when people are arguing about the Constitution and they delegate through it, why don't they go back to the mother guide document, the Declaration of Independence? I don't understand that. It is a design. It speaks from birth to death, whether you're a person, business, or a government. And has a collaborative design for that. I might not be Brad Pitt, and I might not have his abs. And I rub my belly. Sorry, Jen. But my heart and my mind together are. And I see by design the respect that we are, how beautiful we are. And my heart goes out to our earth. My heart goes out to how we're separating. And this declaration said, you're going to be separating if you don't tighten up your reins on the respect of what a government is. I respect this. I understand what it said. I wrote a book on this. I put the book also, and I made it for those who can't afford it. I made it for free. If you can't afford it, it's yours for free. So I'd like to offer that as well on timetojoin.us. So in short, this is what I feel completely. Think positive. If you think you are beaten, if you think you dare not, you don't. Any success begins with your own will. It all is your state of mind. Life's battles are not always won by those who are the stronger or the faster. Sooner or later, the person who wins is the person who thinks he can. And you like the way I put that exclamation in the point? Because I think I can. And I think I'm a positive, upbeat person, respect. I'm not playing any games, but yet I'll give you chances because life is not perfect. Life is not perfect. We have to respect it and respect part of that and be a little bit kinder to each other. We're so politically separating everything. We have to stop that because it doesn't help allow to have a safe future, to have a collaboration, to have good design as we're still learning as humans. As design, we're one step away from being animals. We've ascended, of course, but we're still acting primal. We don't accept and deal with our sexuality, and we don't really understand the design, and we don't talk about it. Any good wedding, any good marriage, any good relationship are the very people who have the ability that they come together and talk about their problems. And that's why I'm here. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, and I love us. We are beautiful. And so this is basically, in such, when you want to know about someone, I think seeing all those projects, this is only just a snippet, but I believe in the minimum amount I could fit on a little teeny board. It shows a collaboration, the political understandings and clarity, but I refuse to be called political. The design, my love for our national security people, especially the 22 people who are committing suicide daily, I can't take that. I love them. And if anyone needs to take it out on me, I will stand there and you can hit and hurt me, but you need to prove to me who you are first, because I don't want you to do anything wrong for yourselves. You're beautiful, man. It's all of you who make our country number one. And you selflessly give yourselves. I hug you right now, man. I hug you. Please don't do it. Please. Be strong about it. And those who hang on, it'll be worth your time. So I just wanted to show you some other things. So these are some of the things on a cart that I made that's aluminum. And I TIG welded it, which is heli arcing. Anyone who does welding, it's another one of the things that I do. And I wanted to design it. And I designed it so I could put signs on it and go around with it and try to advocate to explain to people that we need minimum maintenance. So I don't call myself an activist. I call myself a caring American, because America we can, when we all understand that. And this is one of the ones that I had made that fits into a groove, one on either side. And this one right here, the one in the back there, that happens to fit on the long side. This is the top corner. This is the other top corner. And this is like the front side. So obviously there's two of these and then two of those. But this one says, and in one question that proves that climate is an issue, and it's real, but it's okay. And I also wrote my 14 licenses by EPA certification shows us, and I didn't put my certification for hypnotherapy in there. Is it reversible? Yes! Exclamation point times 3. So I just wanted to share some of the things that I've done in my life because I care for us and I see this changing. I love us, and all of you are beautiful. I don't care if you're 800 pounds or if you're 10 pounds. And I love animals too, and I've also trained animals. I had the last 4 cats of mine jump on my shoulder on command, and they'd happily stay there. Why? Because I always gave them respect. Yet, they got reprimanded when they were on the dinner table. They're not allowed to do that. On my kitchen countertop? No way. And because I reprimanded them respectfully, that's pretty much what allowed a unification that they understood. Do the right thing and you get pet. Do all the right things and you show respect and they give you love back. I think in such a way, this is what our government needs to have, is a collaboration for understandings, collaboration to show people decency, and the Declaration of Independence does that all. I really appreciate your listening. I just want to mention one last thing, because the Declaration, when you read it, and in that book, I broke it down for every statement, and I put it in segments, and then I brought it back together. And I want it to be where, in such a way, the Declaration could never be second-guessed and questioned again what it stands for. Even for the people who want to make money, we need to let them, they are very intelligent people, they've made us number one, and we want to keep them there. So let's do this together. And I love us. Be strong, be confident, be positive. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for President of the United States in 2020. Please support me with your vote, especially for those of you who are turned off. I feel the same. But as you can see, all of my design and what I've done, I feel I have a collaboration of all the people who are so pro-political that we need a balance, and maybe we can show them a couple things too, with respect, of course. And I know I'll learn some things from them. We always trade information. Thank you very much. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the President, human, of the United States, seeing new design. So I ask you, please, be strong, be positive, be confident, and see it that way, because I do. And I'd like to leave you with this picture of the night. Thank you very much. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. How was that?